We understand that obviously Christianity was historically, geographically, theologically an offshoot of Judaism. But how it was able to metamorphosize to a major world religion and spread to the rest of the world is a fascinating story. And largely it has to do with the positive interaction of Jews with the population of the Greek-Roman world of 2,000 years ago. Because as much as we Jews were considered an enemy nation in revolt by the Roman Empire, and as much as the Jewish people had revolted against the Roman Empire more than any other nation in the history of the empire, there was also a tremendous amount of positive interaction. The fact that 2,000 years ago there was probably 5 to 7 million Jews living in the Roman Empire, which was at least 10% of the population, of which only 1/3 lived in Israel, which means that every major city in the Greek-Roman world of the Mediterranean 2,000 years ago had significant Jewish minority populations. And the fact that the Jewish people were such a different people than everyone else. Back then, 2,000 years ago, it was Jews, the only monotheists, and everyone else was a pagan. And the Jewish people were so unique. The only people who had one God, but not one all-powerful God who used and abused us, but a loving God, a God who controlled history, a God who had a destiny in mind for humanity, who loved his children. Jewish people were history's only literate nation 2,000 years ago. The Jewish people were the only people with social welfare infrastructure. And they had these unique health food laws, kashrut. And they had this family day, Shabbat. And a unique sense of community and sense of literacy and tradition and values and so many things that set them apart. And we know for a fact that the Jewish people were viewed by many, especially upper-class citizens of the Greek-Roman world thousands of years ago in a very positive light. That in a world that was so full of corruption and decadence and immorality and so much uncertainty, that the Jews were such a unique example for the rest of the Roman world to follow. So bad was the situation that the Roman historian Seneca said that the customs of this accursed people have become so prevalent that the vanquished have given their laws to the victors. So great was the positive Jewish impact that a huge number of Romans were actually turned onto Judaism. They were groupies. They were called the God-fearers. They were buying kosher food and going to the local Kabbalah center of 2,000 years ago and wanting to come for Friday night dinners. Seneca, the Roman historian, said the customs of this accursed people have become so prevalent that the vanquished, meaning the Jews, have given their laws to the victors. And the biggest lesson we learn from this is, despite all the incredible negative interactions that the Jewish people had during this period of Roman occupation in the Roman Empire, because the Jewish people were able to be a positive example and to take the values that we got from God and create a unique society with unique values and social welfare infrastructure, something so different from the rest of the world, that was a natural selling point that attracted thousands and thousands of especially well-educated Greek Romans. And without that positive interaction for centuries, despite all the negative stuff, there never would have been a Christianity in the world.